morning, Stacy.
Hi, Pat.
I'm with Stacy Merck, who is the coordinator of the SOOP program, and she's going to just give a little bit of an introduction to what the SOOP program is.
San Antonio is one of 60 to 70 SOOP sites here, and so we are only one of a lot. SOOP is actually an acronym for Service Opportunities for Older People. A lot of people don't quite know what that means, but the nice thing about the SOOP program is it involves older folks who have time and energy and lots to give back still to this community. So people come down to San Antonio from Canada, from Indiana, from Kansas, from other states to live and to work here for 3 weeks to 2 months. And they work in different service sites off the property, but also do some things on the property that we use too. It's a time for folks not just to give back to my community, but I think also this community here of San Antonio, but also to learn a little bit about some of the issues that face us here and that I think face us in their own hometowns. Everything from homelessness to immigration to kind of what it means to walk with people in different ways as we go through our lives.
Hi, I'm Helen Miller from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
All right, Helen, thank you for being willing to share with us a little bit about your experience. Can you tell us a little about what you learned during your time here on the SOOP program?
I learned that there are a lot of people who are passionate about meeting the needs of those who are hurting and welcoming the stranger, and it's been beautiful to see.
Okay, Helen, could you share with us a little bit about your experience of God here in San Antonio and in this program? How have you met God in the people that you've shared community with and in the people that you served?
I've seen God in the people who are serving and who are often volunteers and giving an amazing amount of energy and passion to helping the needy. I've seen God in those who are receiving the help too. The dear refugee women who are trying so hard to learn English and just working so patiently at it. And I've seen God in the church community who's willing to, they care for each other and they reach out to each other.
Okay, and would you have any suggestions or comments to those who are considering doing the SOOP program?
SOOP will be a stretching experience, a learning experience. You will probably benefit more from it than the people you serve, but it's great. Try it.
This is Pat Duffy here with the Soopers, and we're going to talk this morning to Trudy a little bit about her experience here at the La Casa, and we'll be hearing from her. Here you're seeing one of the important aspects of community, that the coffee is made early so that we can have it. Okay, now that Trudy has her coffee and she's getting ready to go to her service project today, and it happens to be our last day, we're going to take the opportunity to ask her a few questions. Good morning, Trudy.
Good morning, Pat.
Could you tell us a little bit about where you've been serving during your time here?
Well, I've really enjoyed the Catholic worker, just serving in the kitchen and mingling some with residents there or clients. It's just been really rewarding. And there's this one lady. She basically doesn't respond, but the last day I met her at the bus stop, and she actually smiled at me and made some conversation. So that was a blast.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Catholic worker where you mentioned that you were going to today?
Well, from my understanding, it's kind of like a soup kitchen. They've had to taper down a bit they used to cook more from scratch. Now they're basically warming up food that has been donated, but we do make salads. We serve pastries all morning. Nobody lives in the house, but they come in for the day, and they can do their laundry there. There's a washroom, there's no showers, and they can have kind of pastries all morning, a noon meal, and if it's raining, like yesterday, they'll have supper.
Great. From the little I understand of the SOOP program and the DOOR program, part of the goal is to see Christ in the midst of the city, to experience Christ in the poor. Can you tell us a little bit about that sort of an experience? So can you tell us a little bit about, how has God been present to you here in this experience?
I just think that it's definitely, I feel more comfortable, let's say, with the street people because they are the same as I am. God loves them as much as he loves me, and we can help each other out. And they've been a blessing to me.
Can you tell me a little bit about how they've been a blessing to you?
Just in their greetings every morning, missing me or whatever, just appreciating me, wanting to shake hands with me when I'm in the middle of cooking, and sometimes I feel I need to go wash up in between, and it's like a little reminder from God, like, aren't we all the same? It's been precious.
They drink a lot of coffee also at the Catholic Worker, right?
They do.
Okay, I'm with Gladys on the Peace Porch, and I'm going to ask her a few questions about her experience here. Gladys, could you share with us a little bit about your experience, a little bit more about your experience of community in your service project?
My service project, I was fortunate to be at the local elementary school. I spent time in a first grade classroom and a fourth grade classroom. We worked with reading, but with writing too, and helped each of the children learn to write a story. Very, very enjoyable for all of us.
Gladys, could you tell me about some of your personal experiences of God during your time here? Have you seen God in the people that you've served and the community and just in the church community? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Definitely in the children giving me hugs, but in the church community as well. Opening their homes, talking to us, just sharing their lives with us, being a part of, being included as a part of the community. Definitely feeling community here in San Antonio.
Well, Gladys, for me it's been a real gift to get to know you and share this little bit of time together, but it's going to be hard to say goodbye. But tell me a little bit more about your experience here, why you liked it, and what you would always like to remember about this experience.
One of the things I've really enjoyed is here at the guest house at La Casa is meeting the people, the young people, the others, the travelers, the last minute saying you have another guest arriving, just the pleasure of learning to know people. The people piece is really the big piece here and working through SOOP. And also the privilege of using skills that I've used all my life as a classroom teacher and now using those at the local elementary school. Very dear. The people we love, learn to love and meet and care for each other and struggle together. We have our differences and our likenesses, but we learn to all come together and love and communicate.
Tell me a little bit about your husband's experience of SOOP. How has this experience touched Gary?
Gary needs to tell his own story, but just watching him bloom and blossom after his great illness in '08, seeing him come alive again, and the new spirit, seeing God, he sees God in the people he works with, his willingness to ride the public transportation and meet people, just interact with people. All people are God's people, and he sees God through their eyes and their personalities and their experiences.
Here I am with my friend Gary, who I've had the privilege to meet and be with for a short period of time. Gary, can you tell me a little bit about your experience as a Catholic worker?
Which day?
The day that you'll never forget. Gary, how do you feel now that you're coming to the end of your experience compared to when you just arrived?
Well, I didn't really know what I was capable of. I was kind of feeling my way, not knowing just what to expect. So you kind of are more laid back and you kind of let things come to you more so than you reaching out. And I think that once I have been there for a number of weeks and kind of get a feel for what to expect, you're more able to reach out to people, get to know them, on a small degree, and feel like you like to be with them and learn more about their, how they arrived at the situation that they're involved with at the time.
Gary, you talked a number of times with me about how this experience has kind of, in a certain sense, set you on fire. It's opened your your heart and your mind in a new way. Can you just tell me a word or two about that? Your experience of having worked with SOOP here and getting to meet these people, the Catholic worker, and the other programs?
Well, for one thing, I kind of feel like in a small way, I'm no different than they are. I mean, they're all human, and they've reached a tough time in their life, and we all can have those tough times. So we just have to be there for one another, so that we can maybe make things just a little bit better for someone who is in a difficult situation. And that's why I kind of feel like maybe I have I don't know, possibly a gift where maybe I just feel the desire to be in the surroundings of these people, because maybe I can give them a little hope.
Gary, I went with you to the church under the bridge, and you pulled over and talked to some of the guys on the corners, and obviously had an in with them to relate and start a conversation. And it means you have a pretty good relationship, a good rapport with a lot of these guys. But, you know, and you have shared so much of the best of you with them. But tell me a little bit about what these people have done for you. How have you been, changed, right?
I have an interest in you, even though it's hard to understand. You know, they're down in the dumps, and they don't really know where their next meal's coming from, or who's safe to be around and who's not safe to be around. So it feels good to me, to feel like, they're willing to open up a little bits of their life with me, so that we can communicate together.
Well, Gary, it's been a really gift for me to get to know you, and we have I feel like a friendship after just a short period of time. And I just think it has to do that we shared that experience of getting to meet and make friends with the poor. Tell me a word or two about your experience of meeting Christ in the poor.
They just seem to be, a lot of the people really seem like they have Christ in their heart, and it's just that they're in a tough situation in their lives right now, and it's just sometimes hard for them to understand how best to incorporate where they're at in their life, and include Christ in their daily living.
Stacy, I had the privilege of getting to know the last group that went through the program, and they share with me some of their experiences. Can you tell me a little bit about experience of personal transformation that you've seen people have going through this program?
I think that's one of the gifts for me, is being able to watch people insert themselves into the lives of, people that often we would see living on the margins. And I think in giving we receive way more than we can ever imagine, and a lot of supers realize that and open themselves up to these experiences, and are themselves transformed in some really wonderful and major ways. I think it's, I mentioned earlier that it's a gift for me to be a part of this too, and I think I've really received a lot in being able to meet these folks who've come down, and to watch all of us learn and grow and change together. I do this because I really enjoy doing it. And it's just a real gift to be a part of the whole process. Yeah, I think my hope for folks when they come is that they bring their faith commitments and their understandings of God, and my hope is that peace for them is really enlarged in a real good way, that they do get to know people at a heart level, and in coming to know people and give themselves, they are giving and learning about God and being part of God's life here.